Wednesday, June 9th. I'm Scott.
I'm Rim.
And this is Geeknights. Tonight, the curse of the unknown.
Actually, it's Spell of the Unknown or Lord of the Unknown Tower.
Wait. Lord, was that like
That's the Japanese title.
What? They changed the title even?
Yep.
Oh, fuck. All right. Well, I guess we'll have to discuss that after newses and whatnots and all that crap.
Let's do this.
So, why are you tricking me by making me think I'm doing the opening bit, but we're still doing the opener?
I did not at any point say anything like that. I simply was about to hit stop.
You manipulated the natural flow of 5 years of routine.
I was about to hit
in a
stop.
Psychological trap.
And I simply pointed out that you had gotten the name of the movie we watched and are going to review incorrect.
I'll have to trick you by making it seem like a thing of the day is coming, but oh shit. The meta moment.
See, the thing is, I have the power of post-production.
Yeah, so you're gonna everything I say, you're just gonna make it, make me say like I'm stupid over and over again or something like that.
No, if I was really gonna do it, I would just auto-tune you and only you.
That's not too bad.
It depends.
What song you gonna auto-tune me to?
I'll just auto-tune you to whatever note you're closest to.
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe some sort of Dorian mode. But anyway, it's Wednesday, it's anime. There's usually not much anime news. We try to avoid all the stories about the anime industry collapsing or the anime industry not doing well.
They're all the same story.
Yeah.
But anyway, there's this big story going around about the manga industry not doing
collapsing.
So well. Basically, what this comes down to is there are 36 publishers, right? American and Japanese, mostly Japanese, manga publishers. All the big ones are included and a whole bunch of small ones. And they've created a coalition against scanlation. I always thought it was scanslation, but I guess everyone calls it scanlation with no S.
Maybe it's a cultural shift like OVA versus OAV.
I don't know. I mean,
a lot of 90s anime fans call them OAVs.
I'm a fan of scanslation, but I guess I'll use scanlation as long as that's what's in this article. But basically...
I'm going to keep saying scanslation.
Yeah, from what I've been able to tell from, manga people I follow on Twitter and people who've, work for manga companies, even like the, Kurt Hassler, the guy who's like the king of the US manga industry and all right, is basically they all seem to agree that like scanlation is horrible evil and it's like the bane of everything, right? And that's why manga is failing and such. And I'm just going to say, I don't want to go too long on this because we've said it about 1,000 times, but it's the same story over and over again. First of all, this is complete bullshit. They've had 15 years to do, every publisher of anything has had 15 years to do something about the internet, and they've done nothing.
And, I don't want to say what I always say, so I'll abbreviate it. Take fucking Kazuo Koike's golf manga, put it in Golf Digest, you'll make manga popular among 40-year-old guys in America.
Yep.
Done. Like it's such a sure thing. Anyway,
but yeah, if they get rid of... See, the thing is, they're really upset about scanslation because, like, you can go on Google and search for manga, and, like, in the top 1,000 sites, like, there are these scanlation sites that even have, like, scans of American stuff, and right?
That's how I read Death Note back when it wasn't available anywhere.
Yeah, right? And, the thing is, would I have liked Death Note or even thought about buying it without that scanslation?
I would have never even noticed it.
No, but I bought it all. If they get rid of these scanlation sites, you know what's going to happen? Sales will...
Wait. 2 options. 1, piracy disappears, and overnight the manga industry in America becomes a multi-billion-dollar industry. Or
pretty much what's going to happen is sales will stay the same or decrease, and readership will decrease.
That's
all they will achieve
it.
Is making manga less popular. The punk kids reading it for free have no money. If they do have money, they ain't spending it on manga.
Well, of course not. What are they going to do? They're going to go to Walden Books, or well, I guess Walden Books
and
is
sit
gone.
in the aisle. And even if they do buy one, they'll trade it with each other, everybody, or they'll buy it in the discount bin, or if they had $1 zillion, they would buy it.
I mean, manga cow is a stereotype for a reason. You go to any bookstore, even today, despite the unpopularity of most manga and the whole collapse of the industry, they're just punk kids sitting there reading it all. They just sit there and read Naruto 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 while their parents...
And then the next time they come back to the bookstore, 8, 9, 10, or they go to the library. Libraries get you some sales because the library buys their copy. So I think that pretty much the only way that they can make money if they insist on selling books made of paper and insist on DRM and all that kind of stuff is to make all the mangas $1. Like $1 a volume, because you know what? The kid will go to the bookstore and he'll see all these volumes for $1, right?
Actually, I think a better way to make money, and why to this day I cannot understand why people don't do this. In America, they always seem to say, all right, we've got this market, this demographic, we're going to shoot for it. The demographic is people with no fucking money, infinite free time, and the ability to pirate whatever they want. Also, no scruples. So that is what they go after. That is the demographic. They say, you know what? Fuck Raymond Scott, the 30-year-old who will just spend money to get a comic. Fuck 40-year-old rich guys who like golf. We're going to go after the least viable demographic there fucking is. And then we're going to complain when we don't make any money. I mean, like, are they just stupid?
The problem is they go after us, right? And all of the us's buy it, but there's only 100 of us's.
Yeah, that's why
so they fail that way too.
No, because it's a game of marketing. You cannot tell me that if they just took Kazuo Koike's golf manga, the example I always use, and just put it in Golf Digest.
It's a lot of money to get it in Golf Digest. If you have enough money to get it in Golf Digest, you have enough money to be Golf Digest.
See, now if Golf Digest were smart, they would do it, and they would make all the money from the sales of this manga.
But then what does the manga publisher get?
Fuck them.
Yeah, see, the thing is Golf Digest has to hire the mangaka, and, well, the publisher's still fucked. So what's the publisher supposed to do?
Well, publishers are basically obsolete in the modern
ding,
world.
Ding, 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 ding. Oh! Middlemen no longer necessary. If you're a middleman, just...
No. They serve a very valuable purpose. If you are completely unaware of the world around you, publishers will feed you stuff and charge you money for it.
Gasp. All middlemen, basically, you're all dead. Give up now. Don't, all they're doing is I think the big problem is just economically speaking, any company that actually has something going on has a slow death, right? These companies actually died years ago. They already are dead. But
much like the oft-popularized zombie, their corpses continue to move.
Yes, but they're not completely dead until they actually go bankrupt.
He's
so what
mostly
happened?
Dead.
Right. It's, Kenshiro goes, "Whatcha!" And they go, "Oh no!" And but they don't explode for like a few seconds.
No, instead they
Except in this case, instead of a few seconds, it's a few years.
They reflect on the crimes of their life while they walk slowly backwards over a cliff.
So they keep trying. They don't realize they're dead, right? So they keep trying to do something to revive or come back to life, and they complain about, oh, we're going downhill, but why? We do this, then we won't be going downhill anymore. No, you're already dead. There's nothing that you can do. It's too late. Kenshiro already got you in the late 90s when Napster came out. If you didn't do something, that was your only chance. You
walked over
you had
the
to
side.
counter. You couldn't counter like the Musuo Tensei. So that
not the Yakuretsuken.
No, that was it. You could have countered attacked at that moment, but it hit you. And that's it.
Kenshiro just walked by the building and leaned down.
That was
maybe that's
15
what happened.
years ago. Napster is from like 98, 99.
You know what's funny? Remember the Napster days?
It's like over 10 years ago.
I remember when Napster first became popular, and a girl in my high school came up to me because everyone knew I was like the tech guy, and she was like, "So I use Napster to get these files, and they don't play that well." Now it was some buffering issue. Like I knew what her problem was, but I remember thinking, Napster. Only stupid people use Napster. Because that was still when MP3 sites were the way to get MP3s.
No, they were. As soon as Napster existed, MP3 sites were no longer.
It took
the way.
a couple weeks before Napster was really usable.
No, it was pretty good right out of the gate. Even on a 56K modem, I was rocking like discographies.
Thing is, Napster was well and good, but it was really the WinMX days where I got most of my music.
Well, that's just because it wasn't. If we had Napster at RIT, it would have been way better than WinMX.
Yeah, the thing is, Direct Connect at RIT owned it all because we basically had access to all media ever created on a local LAN that no one could even peer into.
Yep. Anyway,
and that is the demographic they're trying to make money out of selling physical media to?
Yeah, try something else, guys. And it ain't gonna be DRM either.
So,
all right.
I feel like I should talk about this. Scott will groan, but I got to talk about it a little bit because a lot of people are speculating, and I have a little bit of insight. I will not right now speak on behalf of Otakon, but if you haven't noticed, Otakon has not sent out any panel stuff yet at all. They haven't scheduled anything. And, Scott and I are both panel staff, and we don't know any more than you do.
We know nothing.
The email that all you panelists got is the exact same email they sent to us, the staff.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll be straight up with all of you. We don't even know if we're going to go to Otakon because they haven't, told us.
It's looking unlikely. I mean, I've been to Otakon every year.
Since 2002.
Since Otakon 02.
When we went to our first
2, 3,
Otakon.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I've been to 8 Otakons in a
The thing
row.
is, when we went to our first Otakon, one, violent late night movies were not our tradition yet.
Yep.
Para was genuinely popular among anime fans.
And brand new hotness.
Yep. There was a Para like summit at that con we went to.
Full Metal Alchemist was not yet existing.
Yep.
The hot anime at the time was...
I don't even
in
know.
02?
Wasn't that like when... I don't even know. I didn't care.
I don't even remember.
I was watching like Initial D.
Was there I think there was Initial D at the time.
There was.
Yeah.
You know what? Here's the biggest difference. There was an anime industry.
Yeah, I think Gundam Seed was the next year, right?
That was later.
Let me see. Yeah.
Oh, no, because TMR was the next year. So, yeah.
I think so.
I mean, remember, that was the Otakon where we entered that contest. We signed the forms that the booth babes gave us to win the car full of anime.
That was ADV when they were before,
Yeah. It's such a different world. But, I really want to go to Otakon. I enjoy, every time I think about going to Otakon, the first thing I remember is that line sucks. And the line alone would be a reason not to go to Otakon. That Thursday line, or even worse, the Friday line. But we've skipped that line every year, either due to, old rules that no longer exist in Otakon, like panelists skip the line, or straight up just cheating and skipping the line and lying and getting a badge. But if I had to stand in that line, I would have stopped going to Otakon a long time ago. But that's all beside the point. I want to go, but if we don't do any panels, I feel like there's no point in going.
Yeah, why would I? It's weird. I have this. I'm torn, right? It's like part of the reason of not going is simply our personal situation, right? It's like I'm in New York City now.
Yep.
I have no car. I have to use a bunch of vacation days. That's a lot of hassle. Waiting in line is, so those are the personal hassles. My situation has changed.
Yep. It's like Otakon it was just above this line before we didn't have cars anymore. Now it's just below this line.
Yeah, it's like, so now because of the change in my life, it is far more difficult to Otakon. So Otakon has to be that much better for me to go to it.
But at the same time...
But it's sort of the same, and actually it's a little less than it used to be.
Well, here's the reason I think the only less for me, because a lot of things are better. Like, remember that Rakugo panel last year?
Is it actually coming? Is it coming back for real?
Yeah, it's coming back, and that was fucking awesome.
Are we 100% sure it's coming back?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
We're staff. I guess you didn't go to the meeting where we talked about that, but yeah.
Oh, is that public information? I don't know if you should be saying that.
I don't know. I don't even care anymore.
But they might sue you or something. Big leak.
Nope. They didn't make me sign an NDA.
Oh, I guess not.
Did you sign an NDA?
I don't know. I didn't sign anything.
Yeah.
So, hey. They might kick me off the staff, but I haven't even done anything.
I'm gonna be honest with all of you, and I hate to rag on Otakon. I've sent several emails basically to the staff above me asking, hey, what do you want me to do? We're panel staff. We'll help you with the panels that are obviously way behind. And we have yet to get a response. As far as I know, the only reason I know I'm still on the staff is that I get the general staff emails like, here's the form
I think
to fill out.
That's just a computerized thing, right? Is they have a staff system. We're entered into it.
Yep.
Right? And therefore, you can log into it and we get staff emails.
We're still listed as panel staff. We're on the list of those people.
Yeah.
But just staff stuff aside, the things that have gotten worse about Otakon is pretty much the Thursday line and the Friday line. Like, they've been worse every year for the past several years.
Yeah.
And I remember, the entire front row crew.
We used to tell people, give them advice, like, hey, just get in the Thursday night line, after 8 o'clock, so then it'll already be died down. It didn't die down last year. 2 years ago, 3 years ago, that advice was all right.
And the people who are friends who couldn't get through the line on Thursday, they got into the Friday line. And
that's
until
a disaster.
Last year, I didn't know how bad that line was. I assumed it was an hour or two, but it is basically, it itself outweighs all the fun of Otakon to stand in that line.
Yep. I mean, the thing is, I think about being at Otakon, that building, I've been there 8 times.
Yep, the Otterbean lobby,
hanging in the
there,
lobby, going to see a late night violent movie.
Standing in line to get my wristband, turn to the person behind me and saying, hey, you going to see Tokyo Gore Police? He's like, nah, I'm going to see the hentai whatever. Those are good times.
There's a lot of good times to
we
be
have
had
a lot of
at
con
Otakon.
friends,
and I want to have those good times, but I don't want to drive real far. I don't want to wait in line, and I don't want to deal with BS.
Well,
and
the other thing
it's a lot of money money to stay in those hotels, too.
The entire front row crew has bailed on us on Otakon this year. In fact, this is the first
There's
year.
There's not a single person?
A handful.
Scott Johnson was saying he wanted to go.
He's
still.
one of the only ones. I think Judith and Natalie and maybe James and Lisa, but the whole rest of our crew not going to Otakon. And I remember, I won't name any names, but when this first came to light, one of our friends was like, yeah, I've been going to Otakon for almost a decade and I'm not going this year. And I was like, what the fuck? Why? We're going. We got the hotel room and everything. And he said, and I quote, Rim, you've never stood in that fucking line. Fuck you. And now that I see what that line's like that alone, they just mailed the badges. I'd go.
Yeah, they mailed the badges. That would put it slightly above the line.
But there's kind of a meta reason why we really... I hate to pull this sort of stuff because, doing panels and being like staff and guests of cons is not something the majority of you deal with, and it's a whole different world, and you probably don't care about this stuff.
Yeah, it makes no difference in the calculation of an average attendee of whether or not to go.
But Anime Boston pays us to do panels. The New York Anime Festival and Comic-Con basically ask us, hey, what panels do you want to do? When do you want to do them? Let's go. PAX, they treat us like royalty.
PAX cooperates with us like a year in advance to coordinate and discuss logistics of all sorts of panels and all this kind of stuff. Constant communication, months and months and months in advance about
We've already
all
planned
kinds of stuff.
Our PAX East panels. That is like April 2011.
Yeah, we don't even know when. They haven't announced it yet.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, we've already talked about things as specific as like video recording of those panels. Right? So
it's like
Otakon's real soon. And they haven't even emailed us to say what panels we're doing.
Yeah, and there's other issues that are semi-private, but I'd say there's only about a 30% chance that we're actually going to be able to attend Otakon this year. This might be the end for us.
If I could just teleport there and skip the line, do a couple panels.
Dude, I would pay a large amount of money to skip the line. Maybe I should pay some punk kid to stand in the line for me if we end up not being...
He'll just take your badge, though, and your money. Then what do you do?
And
you need to show photo ID, right?
Doesn't matter. Once you get the badge, it doesn't matter. I'll just find some kid and be like, here's $500. Give me your goddamn badge.
Well, here's what you really want to do. You basically get some kid, put him in line, right? And then you find some way that he will swap out of the line for you. And then he gets out of the line because you paid him to get out of the line.
Thing is, that shit doesn't work at Otakon.
But the people nearby won't be complaining, and you do it before you get to the part of the line with the staff there, right? Like just around the corner from the entrance. So, basically you only have to wait in this tiny acceptable line, and the people around him are like, we don't care if you cut because you just swapped this kid out. He's now going to the back of the line.
I feel like if we really wanted to, we could pull the same bullshit we pulled for the last several years and just kind of worm our way in and then get our badges without having to wait in line.
Yeah, probably.
It bothers me that Otakon is the only con where I have to basically fake it to avoid the line that prevents me from getting to the panel I have to do.
Yeah, it's like, Otakon, why? They want me, I assume that they want me to come down there, right, and do panels for them and, say good things about their con on our show. Not that we're that popular or anything, but I assume that they want that, right? But they make it as difficult as possible. Why should I spend a ton of money, take vacation days, and go through extensive travel and wait in a long line? It's like, I'm not working for you. You're supposed to, it's the other way around, right? Every other con, every single one, even tiny ones, it's the other way around.
Yeah, MagFest, you know how awesome they've been to us so far?
MagFest, tiny little con, right? Around the same geographic area as Otakon. They're like, please come to us. We will kiss your feet. It's like a couple thousand people. And they're like, oh, please come to us from far away. We will make a good time for you. Otakon is so big, it's like, fuck you. Let's see, what can you do for me? And I'm like, I'm not going to do anything for you if you're going to be like that, Otakon.
That's the worst thing, because, we've done, 30 Otakon panels in the last several years.
Yeah, we got 8 Otakons. We've done panels at pretty much all of them.
One Otakon, we did, I think, 7 panels in a row.
Damn.
Just Friday and Saturday. That was when they even asked us to do extra panels at the con. Who was
the panel runner that year?
Was it Omar?
I don't know
Meredith.
Who it was.
Meredith is awesome. Omar is awesome. But we don't
Meredith
work with them.
is head of all programming now, right?
I think she's
something
she
like
won
that.
the election to be one of the at-large positions.
Yeah, she's upper. She just moved up but she left the vacancy, which was not filled.
Yeah, well, it was filled, and as far as I can tell, the guy who was in charge of our panels department isn't in charge anymore. But no one told us until I emailed the entire panels department asking, like, "Hey, so are we going to schedule anything?" And they're like, "Oh yeah, I'm in charge of panels now, and we don't need you to do anything just yet."
What do you want me to do? Because you know what? If even if I show up at the con, if you say, hey, sit in these panel rooms and, make sure the panels follow the rules and fill out these pieces of paper, I'm like, no, I didn't. You obviously did not read the communications from when we originally became staff.
So we'll see. Otakon is fun and it's a good anime con, but I worry that we can't deal with it anymore. It takes so much more work to do. And they never even let us do the awesome panels we have. They've never let us run our good anime panels.
Yeah, we offer them all these high-quality panels, and they always ask for, like, the Advance Wars panel. That was the year we did the 7 panels.
Yeah, anime you should see, like, fills multi-thousand-person rooms.
It's like they're not even paying
cons.
attention. Do they not even...
Of course, they let us do Beyond Dungeons & Dragons that one year and filled the biggest panel room, like, handily.
Yeah, I don't know. They're not even paying attention. Like They don't even realize that we filled a room for them and reduced all that traffic in the rest of the, we filled a room in the far off Hilton most people didn't even know how to get to.
Yep. That was actually, I felt really bad because Fred Shaw deserved much more attendance than he got versus what we got.
Well, we put our butts in the seats for him, but that's the fucked up way of Otakon.
But that's all I got. I mean, I don't know what's going on with Otakon. We likely won't be attending. I don't know if
I'd like to attend, but they gotta grease the streets a little bit. They can't
grease the streets. I think they did that in 2001.
They gotta pave the way. They gotta make it easy for us to go to Otakon. They can't be, if they put up roadblocks, make it hard for us to go there. I'm just not gonna, don't put obstacles in my way. You gotta make it easy for me to go. Make me want to go.
So I guess if there's any Otakon staff listening, just tell us what's going on because we're staff and no one responds to any of our emails.
We might have to start emailing like the highest ups. I don't like one email to the highest up before we actually hang it in.
The thing is, Sean and Jim and all them, we're in good terms with them, but they're busy with, Jim runs all the stuff for guests.
Yeah, Jim is doing all the guest stuff. He's doing a good job. He's smart. He knows what's up.
Yeah, Otakon has the best guest relations department of any anime convention in America, as far as I can see.
But that's not helping us out.
Well, maybe because they're one of the only anime cons that doesn't just treat us as guests.
Yeah, I don't know, but maybe if he has nothing to do with us in his guest relation role, but he's the only person that we know that will respond to us and doesn't. We can guarantee is smart and in the business. Maybe we can email Meredith. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't emailed Meredith.
Yeah, just be like, hey.
I've been trying to follow the rules and we're panel staff. Unnamed person who I don't want to call out is in charge of panels as far as I can tell, but I'm not really sure.
Yeah.
I don't know who else is on the panels department anymore.
Whatever, we're done.
But anyway, that was mostly a rant of us complaining. We'll get right on to the fun stuff. Things of the day.
Oh, shit.
This was posted by a listener. I think it was Sale. I forget who. Whoever it was, I'm sorry. I forget your name because I didn't look in the thread to get it. But I went to there's a thing of the day thread in the forum where people post their own things of the day. And I ignore it just because it's enormous and I don't have time to read it. But I
never look in there ever.
Someone told me that there was a thing in there and I looked at it. This sounds like it would be really boring. Unless you're really a video gamer, which is why I'm making it a thing of the day for anything other than video games on Wednesdays.
All right.
This is Japanese people playing Mario 64, and they have this weird challenge. They get a 1-up mushroom, and in Mario 64, when a 1-up mushroom comes out, it flies at you, and it hits you, and you get a 1-up.
Because they didn't want to make it difficult to get, because in Mario, original Mario, right, a 1-up would fall down a hole or something and be like, ha 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 ha.
And that was awesome
but
in
Mario
2D
64,
game.
it's 3D, it's hard, so you don't know which way the 1-up mushroom's going to go. You might not even see it coming at you with the camera, and that stuff. So it just homes in on you, and you get the 1-up if you find it, because they're all hidden anyway.
Before there were achievements, gamers who were dedicated would make their own achievements, like, hey, can you guys pull off this crazy shit?
Beat Zelda 1 with no swords.
So the crazy shit here is activate a 1-up mushroom, which moves at a constant rate through the map. It goes through all objects. It just goes in a straight line toward Mario through anything in this giant 3D map. Activate the 1-up and then run around the map and get all the red coins without letting that fucking 1-up touch you. And that might sound like the most boring thing in the world, especially because the people playing, it's in Japanese. You probably don't even know what they're saying. Just watch this video. It's funny. It is surprisingly funny to watch.
Yeah, all he's doing is trying to get all red coins before the one-up mushroom grabs him.
And let me tell you, that one-up mushroom has never seemed more sinister to me.
It's like
than
usually
in this
you'd
video.
want it to grab you.
But in this, like,
But he decides, no, I don't want it to grab me, and then it becomes awesome.
But suddenly when you don't want it to grab you, this constant unerring velocity through all objects toward you with no way to stop it, it's really kind of scary. It's kind of like Watson in that other video.
Yeah, maybe we should make a game that's just that. Is you're a guy in a 3D area, and it's like 1, 2, 3, go, and then this thing just starts coming at you, and it goes through walls and is, all kinds of shit.
I think no matter what you made it look like, even if it was like Yotsuba smiling, you'd be scared of that shit after playing this game enough.
Well, anything cute becomes scary when it's like that. It just has to be sort of normal looking, just like a normal looking dude. Like
Piece of bread.
Yeah, piece of bread. What's up? All right, anyway.
Yeah, so what do you got for me?
So, we've complained on the show often
about everything in the world.
About, people in New York walking slow, and I wish I could push them over.
Oh my God, I did it! I said I would do this.
You pushed somebody?
No. So, yesterday, I get on the subway. Well, I'm going toward the subway, and I'm on the escalator, right? Mm-hmm. And there's a fat woman, and she's blocking the escalator completely. There's no way to step around her. Mm-hmm. And I see the 7 train pull into the station ahead of me. I jumped onto the railing, walked past her, and made it to the train.
All right.
The doors closed, and then she walked up, and just before the train left, she was standing in front of the door looking at me. And she had this moment where obviously she recognized I was the guy who jumped past her, and I waved, and the scowl on her face just as the train was pulling away was one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen in my life.
That is glorious.
Like, I will have few triumphs of that caliber again in my life.
I would have given her the finger.
No, the polite wave.
Or no, you can hold up a sign that just says "fat" on it.
See, now that goes too far. I think the polite wave, the perfectly friendly smile, like, "Hey, I recognize you. Hello." I'll admit that when I jumped up on the railing, I almost fell off. You realize I was like 1/2 an inch
from hitting your head on the ceiling
from being a YouTube video.
Yeah, pretty much.
I don't know if I'll ever do that again.
So anyway,
that was a little dangerous.
Improv Everywhere, our friends who do things like Grand Central Stand Still and No Pants Subway Ride. And
No Pants Day.
Ghostbusters busting into the library. They went over near the Flatiron Building, near the where there's a Sprint store on the corner, and they got some sidewalk spray chalk. And they spray painted a line down the middle of the sidewalk and a little stencil. And the stencil said, tourist lane, New Yorker lane.
Now,
and they had some guys stand there saying, New Yorkers to the right, tourists to the left. Stop, stand still, take all the pictures you want.
Is it just me, or is the beautiful part of that if that were not a joke, if that were legitimate, I think the majority of New Yorkers would support it wholeheartedly.
Yeah, people seem to enjoy it quite a bit.
I think what killed me in the video was when the woman pretending to be like a researcher for the Department of Transportation had like her clipboard with the fake letterhead and everything asking people about it.
Yeah, that was good.
Also, those 2 guys.
Yeah, the 2 guys they got to pretend to be like, workers to direct people. They were excellent actors. And then...
hey, you gotta get in the line here. Turn in.
Yeah, and then at the end they showed like, Mayor Bloomberg thought it was cute. Which is, because he's a New Yorker too. He knows a tourist got to get out of the way.
That's the thing about New York. Like the mayor of some other city, he probably has like a private car or something to get to work. New York, it doesn't matter how rich you are. Even the really rich people take the goddamn subway.
I'm
most
sure,
of the time.
he's got a car going around driving him like a Lincoln Town car or something.
But it's faster to take the subway.
Yeah, but he's subwaying it now and then,
Yep. I mean, I guess
it's
if you're
weird,
the ultra
though,
wealthy,
like,
you take the helicopter
It seems
off the
like
building.
the U.S. is one of the only countries, well, not maybe one of the only, but it's one of the countries where the higher up politicians are really separated from, everyday life, Like if you're in the House of Representatives, you're probably, an everyday person. But if you're a governor, a senator, a mayor of a major city, maybe a president, or something like that, you're not in everyday life, I mean...
Well, remember when George Bush Sr., the old one, got out of the White House? Mm-hmm. He had never seen like an automated checkout before.
No, that was Reagan.
Was it Reagan?
Yes.
I forget which one.
That was the story, was that he went to a grocery store after no longer being president, and they had the beep, the barcode scanner, and he was like, what the hell is that? He didn't understand it.
No, I remember George Bush had a different, similar technological thing.
Yeah, but it's that kind of thing. So, but if you go to say France, like the Prime Minister of France just like drives to work like with everyone else, and he drives his own car, lives in an apartment building with a bunch of other people. He doesn't have like a gigantic security detail or bulletproof it's not like that. People are just normal people, you know? So anyway. Meta moment.
Oh, the meta moment.
So meta moment number 1, I want people to know that basically, there was a problem with our computers, servers for a long time where they wouldn't send emails. Now that really only mattered if you had signed up for the forums, because when you sign up for the forums, it sends you an email that says you are now registered. Congratulations. Also, ID Share has the same kind of thing going on. So it is now all fixed. So if you sign up for the forums, you will get the confirmation email. If you had previously signed up for the forums and never got a confirmation email and sort of forgot to come back and sign in or forgot to whatever, you can just come and sign in. And if you forget your password, you can click forgot password and you'll actually get the email that will remind you of your password. So now is a good time to come back to the forums and all that.
We've never, as far as I can tell, denied a human access to the forum.
Yeah, we've only denied people who were obviously spam or were trolls and really, really bad people afterwards.
Yep, we've banned, I think, 2 people ever, so...
Yeah, actually, I think one of the bans was like, the person was being real bad, but I think that it was just like a night of drunkenness, so it's sort of like, I feel like I shouldn't have, but at the same time, it was such a bad night of drunken posting.
Yep.
That if that had continued, I would, I had to assume that based on someone's posting that they will continue to post that way and would require banning.
Well, hey, as much as I love Penny Arcade, we're not the Penny Arcade forums.
Yeah, it's working pretty well. We've only had to ban a couple times, so
yeah,
whatever.
We got a good community. You should really, if you like Geeknights at all, you will enjoy the community. However,
but also, please go to the website.
There's this one asshole in the forums. You'll know him. Just ignore him.
Yeah, you got to learn that if there's a thread, you don't have to read every thread. Just don't click on a thread if you don't care about it.
But the other part
and at the same time, if someone posts something stupid, just scroll past it and don't read it.
But the other thing is,
that's good advice for the whole internet.
If this doesn't entice you to join the forum, then this final note will. We enforce proper grammar and spelling, and we found that has actually made the forum awesome. I think that's the primary reason the forum is awesome.
Yep. Anyway, other meta news, Kineticon.
Yep, Kineticon. I'm sending the schedule for Kineticon to the printers tonight.
Oh, shit.
So Kineticon is on. We're panels. Now, we took over the panels department about midway through the year, so there's a lot of chaos and confusion. We mostly got it all sorted out. There is a schedule. It's all awesome. Starting at Kineticon, for next year, it is us from day one. Mm-hmm. You're going to see, such a revolution of panels department running. You'll be amazed.
I hope so.
We figured all this shit out now.
All right. What are the other meta news?
The book club, which we were supposed to do.
We were supposed to do the book club Thursday, but we both had finished the book, and we were ready to do it, but Rim had to stay late at work.
Yep.
So
to be fair, I had to stay late at work to drink with coworkers.
Oh.
No, it was I had to go to it. It was like a function for
mandatory alcoholism. So what if I worked there? What would I have done?
You didn't have to drink. Just come and talk. It was basically a hobnobbing that I could not actually skip.
You could only knob.
I had to do a lot of knobbing,
and I would only hob.
Yeah, and between the two of us, making a hobbit.
The book club, the next Thursday we'll do the book club of Cosmos.
Yes, Cosmos. Do you want to announce the next book? Or you want to wait?
Maybe we should wait. It doesn't matter. Whatever. Yeah. Anyway, any other meta stuff?
Not really. We got a lot of things in the hopper, but in true shit talking form, we can't talk about them until we have, the official announcements for them. But I'll say this. We've got something really cool and really normally I exaggerate about this sort of thing, but I'm not right now.
You're exaggerating.
We're doing something pretty fucking awesome.
It's awesome, but it's not pretty fucking awesome.
I think it's pretty fucking awesome.
It's regular awesome.
What would it take to be pretty fucking awesome in your book?
We're gonna be on TV tomorrow, for reals. Or
depends on what channel.
We won the Stanley Cup, like us.
That's pretty fucking awesome because I think I put that in impossible.
I didn't say.
Scott, I had a bagel 2 days ago that was pretty fucking awesome.
No. It would have to be like a bagel made of Kobe bread to be with some foie gras.
And some Chadless, some escargot.
Yeah, and a fucking, trilobite.
So,
I wonder what trilobite tastes like.
We had never, ever seen a Pokemon movie. Neither me nor Scott.
Well, it seems like there's like, we talk about how there's a shortage of anime movies, but really there isn't.
There's a shortage of anime movies that don't have a number next to them.
Yeah, there's like Pokemon, One Piece. I think there's Naruto movies.
Yep.
I think there's Inuyasha. These sorts of movies are coming out all the time, right? But we really pretty much ignore them completely. And we've never seen a Pokemon movie except for the small bit of one. I'm not sure which one it is that is in the you don't know shit about Pokemon video.
I don't even know what Pokemon movie that is.
Didn't they tell us that it was the second one, I think?
Basically, we'd never seen a Pokemon movie at all. Not even the first one.
No.
Not even, Mew and Mewtwo.
Nope, nothing.
Zero.
Nothing. So
we were hanging out.
We're at a friend's house.
Judith and Natalie's house.
We need something to watch. We're bored.
And we're like, hey, why don't we watch one of those Pokemon movies?
Well, it was more like looking through Netflix, couldn't find anything, saw a Pokemon movie, joked about it, then said, hey, maybe we actually should watch it.
Yeah. However, we did not watch the first Pokemon movie. We watched what is arguably the worst Pokemon movie.
I don't know which one's better or worse because I've only seen one, but people say this is the worst one.
Geki Joban, Poketo Monster, Keshato no Teo, Entei.
So that translates to what?
That translates to Pocket Monsters the movie. It sounds so dumb.
But it has Entei, which in the name of it, as opposed to the one we saw the English dub on Netflix.
Secret or Spell of the Unknown.
Spell of the Unknown.
Get it? Like spelling?
But what was the original one translates to something
Pocket Monsters the movie, Lord of the Unknown Tower, Entei.
Yeah, Lord of the Unknown Tower, Entei. So that was... Basically, it was about one of the legendary dogs from the Gold and Silver series, the fiery one.
Who apparently goes around raping. We'll get to that.
Yeah.
This movie was surprising.
It was surprisingly funny.
Yeah.
But it wasn't surprising to me. It just was.
But it started with a short. Now, I didn't actually look into this, but it started with a short, which can best be described as... Pichu brothers almost die, Pikachu saves them, and they find the secret land of the hobo Pokemon.
Yeah, basically, I didn't know this, but every Pokemon movie begins with a short Pikachu-only video,
Which
right?
is awesome.
Which is pretty cool. But apparently, I couldn't tell if it was actually dubbed or if it was just dubbed over, right?
Yeah, so I didn't even try to find the Japanese one.
Like I was watching it, dubbed over, and I got the feeling that the original was completely silent and contained only, well, not completely silent, but contained only music and sound effects and Pokemon making noises. But in English, there was this English-speaking narrator talking over it, saying, Pikachu went to...
It was basically Stan Lee, like, Pikachu was in trouble now. If he didn't get back in time, what would happen?
Yeah, and I got the feeling that I don't know this, that the original Japanese just didn't have a narrator, period.
Here's the thing. If it did have the same narrator, then the people who make Pokemon think kids are stupid.
Yes.
If it didn't have the narrator... then, as we know, the Japanese think that American kids are stupid.
No, the American dubbers think American kids are stupid.
Yeah, but even like video games. I mean, they always give us the easy shit versions of games.
Yeah, it's the same thing. But
yeah, they know we're stupid.
Yeah. I'd like to, see if the original's out there and see if it was the narration was added only for English or...
I'm sure that no more than 2 minutes of research could have answered this question, but we did not bother.
But, all in all... without the stupid narration, it was just sort of a cute, short thing.
It didn't make a lot of sense, though, because why are there all these homeless Pokemon living in this basically garbage heap, and Pikachu basically ruins the whole thing?
Yeah, as a story-wise, it wasn't so good, but it was just, it was cute. It had a lot of Pokemon in it.
I think what got me was that the whole time, this narrator is just crazy. Like, it is literally, he punched the little guy.
Yeah.
And then at the end... all the Pokemon are helping everybody. Like, everybody's helping everybody. And there's no more narrator. And Scott says, wow, I'm surprised they don't have a narrator saying, and that's how they solved it all with teamwork. And right then, narrator, oh my, it looks like by working together, they were able to save the day.
Joy, shut up. I mean, I think that it's actually not only are you insulting the intelligence of the 3-year-olds by adding in that narrator and the 5-year-olds too, but you're actually making them stupider by having the narrator. And it's like, doesn't anyone what were they thinking to do a AVGN toss up there?
So the movie starts, and as far as I can tell, here's the plot. So Ash's mom was clearly having an affair with Professor Oak, but that's just
No.
like that's common knowledge.
She was having an
she'd
affair with
always been
Mr.
having an affair with
Mime.
Professor Oak because Dad's out of the picture. But independent of that, she was also having an affair with this other professor who was studying the unknowns.
Mm-hmm.
So, independent of all this, I'm pretty sure that Mr. Mime watches and perhaps engages because he is a creepy motherfucker.
Yeah, I mean, if Ash's mom is gonna have any Pokemon, why Mr. Mime?
Yeah, really, why Mr. Mime? And
I mean, if you need like a practical Pokemon, all right. So here, if you need a practical Pokemon for like around the house, made kind of stuff, which Pokemon do you get?
I don't know.
You don't know?
Maybe a Lucario because he's humanoid, or a Baneri because that's awesome.
No, I would get a Geodude, obviously.
I can't lose.
No, not just because it can't lose, right? Because it floats,
And it's got hands.
so it doesn't make the floor dirty. It's got hands.
I'm pretty sure rubble falls off that thing all the time. It should probably
Nah.
molts.
And then, like it
Dude,
can,
what? Geodude.
it can float up to reach high up things, and it
Stop.
can lift heavy things.
Have you ever seen a Geodude open his fists? They're not hands, they're just fists.
What?
All Geodude can do is punch you.
No.
If you tell him to clean the floor, he'll punch the floor until he thinks it's clean.
No.
Geodude is an asshole.
No. Anyway.
You're much better off with the Baneri.
Anyway. It's
So-
too small.
Mr. Mime is just really, really creepy. And the way he kind of like is nervous and hanging around Ash's mom, there's something going on there.
There's a whole lot of innuendo to be made in this movie.
But the weird thing is, it is surprising the strength with which I feel the conviction that Ash's mom at one point had an affair with Professor Hale.
Oak?
Spencer Hale. No, Oak, that was obvious. Everyone knows that.
No.
Because why else why else did this whole thing happen? Why did they all know each other? But Professor Hale in Greenfield, there's something going on. They had some sort of action a long time ago. I think they both tried to pretend it didn't happen.
All right.
So Professor Hale is studying the unknown, and the unknown kidnapped him or something, whatever. And his daughter, basically, as far as I can tell, the people who were with him on this expedition come back, and they're like, "Hey, Molly, you're like 5 years old. Your dad fucking disappeared." And then they just leave her alone in the mansion, I guess to starve to death. What are you doing over there?
I'm just reading some internets.
Oh, you don't care about the Pokemon movie?
I do.
Don't have anything to say about it? Was it not strange that they tell her dad has disappeared and then leave her alone in this mansion with the strange artifact that they found after he disappeared, and no one thinks anything of this?
It was really, the thing is, right, that really gets me about the whole thing is that the unknown, like, spell, right, where it's like the reading the unknowns and like figuring out, where the secret is. It's like, how come no one thought, figured it out earlier?
I don't think English exists in the Pokemon world.
Do they write in like some different language?
They must.
I don't know. What
Maybe
language?
Japanese.
No, that's right. They all look like, that's why no one could figure it out.
But if you go back even further, I didn't look this up either, but according to our sources, the Molly, the kind of main character, the little girl who's left alone in the mansion to starve to death with the evil artifact after her dad disappears, dad who had an affair with Ash's mom, she, all this stuff happens, but just before the plot starts, her dad is basically reading her a story, like about Entei and how awesome Entei is, and check out Entei, he's such a badass. And they show a picture of her mom, and they don't really say anything, but as far as you can tell, her mom's just gone. Apparently in Japanese, for some reason, they explain that her mom's in an insane asylum.
Yeah, her mom must have just gone nuts for some reason or other. But
Well, clearly because her husband was having an affair with Ash's mom, and she found out about it.
Yeah.
Maybe Mr. Mime told her.
No, Mr. Mime made her insane with his mime powers so that she would, forget. And
It was weird that they make a big deal about her mom being gone in the real plot, and they just don't mention this at all in the English plot.
Yeah, they don't tell you whether she's dead or not. They just sort of show you pictures of her with her
and she's
face
like,
covered up.
I miss mommy, and her dad's like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go study some unknowns and then disappear.
And, it really just does, the motivations don't make a lot of sense. It's like, okay, the girl has some sort of powers because of Entei or something.
No, it's
and
pretty
the
obvious.
unknowns.
So she wakes up the unknown because they left her with the weird evil artifact that made her dad disappear and don't think anything of it.
Yep.
And the unknowns read her thoughts and create everything that she desired with their psychic powers.
Mm-hmm.
And what she desired was a daddy, but apparently daddy is Entei, the dog, and not her actual dad. Think, her dad disappeared. Her mom's gone. The Unknowns read her mind. She doesn't want her mom and dad back. She clearly wants Entei to be her dad. Why? That doesn't make any sense. Why do I mean? I guess unless she never really liked her dad. Maybe she always secretly blamed him for her mom going insane.
Well, it's a Moopy situation, right? She's basically playing the Moopy game, and she doesn't want to stop playing the Moopy game.
Yeah.
When would you?
No.
So, once someone's got the Moopy game, it's like, well, fuck, the Moopy game can replace everybody and everything. And the thing is...
there's one thing better than the Moopy game.
What?
Two movies.
Two movie games. But
so the Unknowns make a fake Entei, and she's like, "You're my daddy." And this is where the dub is awesome, because he's like, "I'm daddy," or "Papa," or he says it really creepily. And let's fast forward a little bit. Later, she demands a mommy. So Entei, of course, kidnaps Ash's mom, and he hypnotizes her. And there's this scene where this giant Pokemon dog is staring at her, and she's got the anime hypnotized eyes. And he's like, "You are now mommy." And she's like, "I'm mommy." And then the scene cuts away, and I'm pretty sure that he raped her right then and there.
Yeah, and the thing is, right?
It is so heavily implied, I cannot doubt that rape happened.
But then how did Ash's mom, right, she just sort of snaps out of it, with her own willpower?
I think she saw Ash. Because remember, he was coming to do his bullshit, like he always does. He just happened to be there.
See, the best part of the movie, though, for me, right, if I had to look at the whole movie and say which part was the best part.
You're going to say Lisa.
Yeah, it's when they met that random Pokemon trainer right away and we're just, having a little Poke battle.
Well, because she's hot and awesome.
Yeah, right? So why didn't she stick around and continue the awesome?
Well, because I like that battle scene, because it was like the good-natured combat. The credits are kind of playing. The music's going. It's like a montage. And then why was she even there? She served no purpose. She basically stood around, did jack and shit, and then was kind of in the background at the end.
The only reason they had her in the movie is because without her, there would have been zero actual Pokemon trainer battles in the movie. It was the only other battles were
hacks.
Were everyone versus the Entei, and, there was...
No. Remember when when the little girl, Molly, basically, the Entei and the Unknown make her an adult, which is just kind of really...
That was just this random scene that made no sense. That was why is this in here?
It was just really creepy. This 5-year-old girl is suddenly an adult. And of course, Brock is all about this. But they make her Pokemon. They're all basically hacks. She's got a Game Shark. She wins no matter what.
Yeah. The other thing, right, is the Team Rocket is there, right?
Yeah, well, apparently they're in every movie and they never do anything.
But it's not the cool Team Rocket with, Giovanni. It's, the two stupid Team Rockets and the Mouth.
I like them.
The Meowth is good, but I don't like about the other people.
I like them.
I don't think they're funny.
Mostly because Musashi is fucking hilarious.
Anyway... So, it's they're there in the movie and they're doing funny, trying to be comic relief, but it's they don't interact with any of the characters. They're these observers. They're sticking off the side of the movie like a wart. They don't interact with the plot. They don't talk to the other characters. They don't ever see the other characters. No one sees them. They're like the guys in the Muppet Show who are up in the balcony, just providing comedy but never doing anything.
The thing is, as far as I can tell, the joke they always do is something stupid will happen, and one of their Pokemon seems to somehow always get out of his Pokeball just to go, "Wah!"
Yeah, the Wobbuffet comes out.
Yep, but he just appears out of nowhere and he goes, "Wah!"
And then they put it back in the ball.
And they look at him like, "Jesus, how the fuck did you get out again?" Why did they even keep
one thing
him
I
around?
learned watching this movie that I didn't know is that Pokeballs shrink. It's you put the Pokemon in the ball, and then it's already the Pokemon is too big to fit in that ball, so he shrinks.
Dude, they make a big deal about that in the cartoon,
and then the
comics
Pokeball,
and
then the Pokeball shrinks again. So now it's even smaller. It's whoa, that dude is dying in there.
So you've seen how big those things are. How would he carry so many?
And you can fit any size Pokemon in there. Legendary, put him in the ball. He's as big as a building in the ball.
I wonder what would happen if you just use a Pokeball on a person.
I don't know they never explain how a Pokeball works. Why does it, couldn't I put anything in a Pokeball? Your house, right?
Maybe only organic matter. Maybe just Pokemon.
And then things break out. The Pokemon can break out somehow. So it's like
No, just that Pokemon.
but they can no. I mean, like when you're trying to capture them, it might not work.
Yeah, well, that's
but then once they're
that's 'cause
captured,
you didn't hit A and B at the same time every time it stopped shaking.
at the third shake, right?
I entered the Konami code.
They need a Poke code.
Oh my god, they do.
But yeah, if I'm gonna judge all Pokemon movies based on this, I really don't want to watch any more Pokemon
So kids,
movies.
I want to know.
Except for comic relief.
Tell us what the best Pokemon is. We've seen the worst movie. I want to see the best. Like when Scott read the so-called best Star Wars novel.
And they were average. You know, I mean,
thing is,
everyone says, the best Star Wars novels that Timothy Zahn Thrawn thing. You know, Thrawn is awesome as a character.
Yep.
But those books were just
The thing
average-ish
is,
books.
Thrawn is really just a cross between a lensman, because he's basically perfect, and frickin' the vampire Strahd from Ravenloft. Mm-hmm. That's basically all he is.
Huh, he's just a really smart, awesome kind of dude.
Signal Vice Admiral Thrawn to launch his TIE squadrons immediately.
Very well.
Oh my god, this fucking... But I feel like if we watched a better Pokemon movie, it would be less fun. Because we watched this with Judith and Natalie, our two good friends.
Is there a Pokemon movie that's very similar to the good Pokemon manga?
I don't think so.
They should make a Pokemon Adventures, the movie, like separate from all the other movies,
But
like on its own.
What made this movie worth watching for us was primarily the implied rape.
Yeah, all the hilarious, innuendos and things that we wrote into it because we're adults and because we're not children and we're watching a children's movie.
Mr. Bucket. Buckets of fun.
It's
Mr.
basically
Bucket.
like, you get the Little Mermaid and get King Triton's penis situation, right? it's basically that times 100.
So the only bad part of the movie was pretty awful, but it wasn't like bad. It wasn't Odin.
No, it wasn't bad. It was just...
Except... It was interminable at the end, right? There's this fight scene, and just before it comes up, I think Judith is like, yeah, this fight scene lasts for fucking ever. And sure enough, it lasted forever. And then it ended, and then it started again.
There really aren't that many plot points, but basically each thing is dragged out, and it's over.
Well, let's list all the plot points. Okay. So, only things we see in the movie. So it starts with random Pokemon battle with Lisa. I guess it's not really a plot point, except she's the reason they go to this town in the first place.
Yep.
So, all right, I guess that's a plot point. Oh shit, Molly's dad disappeared. Oh shit, Molly has the power of all the universe and has an Entei.
Oh shit, unknowns, right? That's the same
thing. Oh
shit,
Molly kidnaps Ash's mom so Entei can rape her and make her mom.
Yep.
Ash tries to save them.
And fails. And then
Charizard shows up.
And he saves everybody.
Basically, yeah, Charizard saves everybody.
That was so random, too. It's like they just show you, they cut away, and you're you're in the land of the Charizards, and there's some lady there. You don't even know who she is.
Who was she? She looked fucking badass.
Yeah, well, I want to see a movie all about the land of the Charizards.
Yeah.
And then... it's like Charizard shows up and saves the day because he couldn't have done it without a flying Pokemon. So Deus Ex Machina, he shows up, and the foreshadowing was, we show you the land of the Charizards.
Shit. Yeah, I learned something kind of unrelated.
All right.
Turns out Lisa Ortiz played Lisa in the dub we watched.
Lol.
Yeah.
That's probably why they...
Yeah, she's in my LinkedIn.
Yeah.
She's cool.
Okay.
I don't know. I was a fan of Slayers. I'm a fan of her.
All right. I don't know anything else.
I don't know. This movie is worth watching, I feel.
Is it really worth watching?
All right, it's only worth, as far as I can tell, according to...
If you're looking for a night of silliness and lulz, and you're like maybe drunken, maybe not drunken.
According to Judith and Natalie, the movie's only worth watching if we're in the room with you.
Yeah,
or people like us. I think
if
Dave
there's
and
someone
Joel,
who's going to provide a lull commentary to it.
I think Dave and Joel could make this movie equally fun.
Or those two guys who can't lift 10.
Oh my God. I would watch any media if they were narrating it.
I know, right?
I don't know what else we can say about this movie. All right, and crystals form and then go away.
Well, the crystals basically are just, part of the Entei kidnapping situation.
I'm pretty sure that thousands died in the background of this movie.
Yeah, it's one of those things where they show you huge collateral damage, but they never show you any deaths or, actual permanent damage related to...
I'm pretty sure if those crystals went over you,
collateral damage.
You did not make it.
Yeah, but they didn't actually show any person getting covered by them, just a town.
Yeah.
So.
All right, and the Entei was fake. And also, there was an underwater Pokemon battle, but Misty didn't turn into a mermaid.
Yeah.
Come on.
I don't know. Yeah, Misty really didn't do that much. She just sort of hung around.
Yeah, carrying that Togepi still.
Same as Brock. And why was she carrying the Togepi?
She always carries that Togepi because it's cute.
Why didn't she put it in the ball with all the other Pokemon?
I don't know.
Like, why doesn't Pikachu get in his fucking ball either? Or Meowth. It's like, dudes, Brock, he keeps all his Pokemon in the balls.
No, you don't keep Meowth in the ball. Meowth is the one Pokemon who deserves enough respect where you never put him in a ball again. He loved
put him in
another Pokemon so much. He learned English or Japanese, I guess, just to hit on her.
You put him in a luxury ball so that has like a couch and shit, but you keep him in a ball.
Thing is, I never use anything but dusk balls.
Why not any other ball?
Because it's always dusk. I just wait till dusk and I use the dusk ball. Or I set my time to dusk and then I use the dusk ball. Why am I going to buy a power ball or whatever the other balls? Mr. Bucket. I think we're run out. We're done.
We're done.
It's over. This has been Geek Nights with Rim and Scott. Special thanks to DJ Pretzel for the opening music, Kat Lee for web design, and Brando K for the logos.
Be sure to visit our website at frontrowcrew.com for show notes, discussion, news, and more.
Remember, Geek Nights is not one, but 4 different shows. Sci-Tech Mondays, Gaming Tuesdays, Anime Comic Wednesdays, and Indiscriminate Thursdays.
Geek Nights is distributed under a Creative Commons Attribution 3.0 license. Geek Nights is recorded live with no studio and no audience. But unlike those other late shows, it's actually recorded at night.